Hey, we're back here on the couch on the Best Day Movie Show. Skip, my buddy, came back from the movie. You really enjoyed it, huh?
Oh man, I love that movie. I think it's my favorite movie of the year, next to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
How did you get back faster than I did?
I know a shortcut.
Because, I was here on the couch. I saw the movie with you, but I came back on the couch to start the show, and then you were still at the movie theater. What were you doing? You at the bar? Were you at the bar having too many?
Probably not, but this is what we call a little bit of movie magic, my friend.
Movie magic. Yes, that is the word here in the entertainment business of movie magic. We took a couple classes from Steven Spielberg himself.
Yeah, we went over to the school that Full Sail, and they taught us a few things.
The lovely Full Sail right here in Orlando, Florida. Well, Comic-Con 2014 has gone and passed. I feel like it goes so fast every year. It's like we hear about it. You know what? Next year, Skip, I hope we're there reporting from Comic-Con 2015.
Yeah, I'm going to make a point to say I'm going to make a effort to get to Comic-Con next year. I feel like there's going to be some major story breaking at Comic-Con next year, and instead of being all the way over here in sunny Florida, I want to be over there in sunny California.
Well, before we get started, let's hear about the oops and accidents before Comic-Con got away. I can tell you that this morning on the radio I heard that there was a family that lives in the San Diego area that was driving by the convention center, and they have an annual zombie walk that they do. And this family had 2 deaf kids in the back, and the family walked up to the red light and saw that the zombies were walking across for the zombie walk. Well, for some odd reason, the zombies started attacking the car, scaring the kids and the family in the car. Well, the father gunned it on the gun and ran over some so-called zombies that were still alive. No charges have been filed for this man. But the man was scared, I don't understand why the people were attacking the car.
Yeah, that sounds a little odd to me. I mean, you'd think those kinds of things would be cordoned off where people can't be driving there, or the walk would be in an area where there aren't going to be a bunch of people, pedestrians that aren't involved with Comic-Con in that area, you know what I mean? And have them walk in a secluded area,
Oh, yeah. Well, didn't you tell me something? You heard something, too?
Yeah, well, I was watching the Marvel live panel, and they were all autographing all the Marvel guys from Age of Ultron, and I guess some lady got so excited she passed out right in front of the autograph table, and there was thousands of people there. I mean, they had to call the cops, call the EMTs to get this lady.
I wonder if they stopped the autographs.
Oh no, you could see they were going.
You okay, ma'am? You okay?
Yeah,
okay, we had to continue signing.
Yeah,
take care.
Yeah, they kept on going. Boy, they signed for a good hour from what I was looking at. They were narrating.
So it was the whole cast of Age of Ultron?
Yeah, except for Scarlett Johansson, because she was pretty much preggers, about 8 months, close to 9 months preggers, and they said any day she could give birth to her baby. So same thing with Mila Kunis. She was supposed to show up for Jupiter Ascending panel, and she was pretty preggers as well.
Well, later on, if we want to talk about Scarlett Johansson, we went to go see a movie that she it's hit the theaters last week. It's a movie called Lucy, and we're gonna have to wait for that because there are some things we need to get off our chest there. But let's get into it. I gotta say that one story that I heard, Kevin Smith did a panel and he revealed his movie Tusk.
Yeah, the trailer of Tusk came out, and it's a little creepy. Come to find out, I guess he was on some kind of a podcast or radio show, they were just shooting the breeze with people, and he was going back and forth with people, and that's how the idea for Tusk came about.
Justin Long. I've never seen Justin Long play a a scary character like this. It was interesting. I saw the trailer. If you want to go on and see more of the trailer, before we get into the story, let's roll the trailer for Tusk. Take a look.
Always do sober what you do drunk. That'll teach you to keep your mouth shut.
Hemingway said that.
Yes, he did. And he said it to me.
I don't want you to go to Canada tomorrow.
It's for the podcast. It's what I do. I travel around and I interview weird or interesting people.
So look out, you crazy Canucks! Wandering Wallace takes a raunchy road trip up to the Great White North.
Hello. I'm an old man who has enjoyed a long and storied life at sea. And after eons of oceanic adventure, I know I do not wish to spend my remaining years alone when I have such stories to share.
How far is Bifrost from here?
It's about 2 hours from here.
It's about 2 hours away.
I hate American guys.
Good evening.
It's nice to meet you.
Could I interest you in some tea?
So what happened after the boat sank?
I was alone, and then something very swift and frightening moved by me.
A walrus saved your life?
The walrus is far more evolved than any man I've heard of. Present company included.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you? Would you?
There. It'll be all right, Mr. Tusk.
He hasn't called me in 3 days. I'm worried.
Why are you doing this?
Are you really mourning your humanity? I don't understand. Who in the hell would want to be human?
I'm so scared. This guy wants to turn me into an animal or something. I don't want to die in Canada.
Wow, that looks like a Kevin Smith film, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a little creepy. I think it's his first foray into horror, the horror genre.
Well, he had that other movie he came out with before.
Yeah, but that wasn't really horror. That was more of a geopolitical kind of thing with you know, the David Koresh kind of stuff.
And all I gotta say, it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. It was like your David Koresh kind of thing where you have your compound, you have all these police officers coming after the compound, and you don't know what the people were thinking in those places. Those weird.
I'm very surprised that Miramax backed out of Clerks 3, which was supposed to be the last movie he was, because in the beginning when last year when I was talking to Kevin Smith, Kevin Smith said that he was going to retire and that Clerks 3 was going to be his last film. You know what? Did you see the interview I did with Kevin Smith?
Yeah, actually, we had it on the air on the Best Damn Movie Show about 4 or 5 months ago, and I did hear the interview. We aired it, so if you remember that episode of
If not, I'm going to play it right now for everybody, just for a little recap.
All right.
So here's the Kevin Smith interview I did. Now listen to what he says. We do talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We talk about Clerks 3 a little bit. So take a listen.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
How did you come up with the concept for Red State?
Red State was my friend Malcolm Ingram had made this documentary, Small Town Gay Bar, and in it he had interviewed Fred Phelps. So that was first footage I ever saw, an interview with Fred Phelps with somebody that I knew. My friend was asking the questions, and that made him more real. I got a gay brother, and he's been, well, I guess he's been gay his whole life, but I know he's been gay he's been out for about 25 years and stuff. So, naturally, as somebody who hates bullies, period, and particularly hates seeing people bullied simply because, they want to fuck somebody that maybe the majority doesn't agree with them about who they want to fuck. That just sickens me. And so after time, you compile that also bring in Michael Parks. I saw him in From Dusk Till Dawn. I was like, I want to work with this guy, man. This dude would be phenomenal to do one scene with this man. Like, he's an acting Yoda. He's forgotten more about the art of performance than I'll ever know. That would be a dream. You combine all those elements and boom, that's Red State. And also, but to be fair, a yearning to do something other than a Kevin Smith movie, because I can make a Kevin Smith movie in my sleep. Like, that's what I do. A lot of critics say he does make them in his fucking sleep. But I wanted to make a Quentin Tarantino movie by way of the Coen Brothers, just a soupçon of Kevin Smith on top. Hey, how are you? Thank you, sir.
Clerks 3, any new information on it? What would it be about?
Clerks 3, I'm up to page 85. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be about, but it's about Dante and Randall, of course. Jay and Bob are in it. Elias is in it. Becky's in it. Other characters in the View universe, not just Clerks movies, are in it and stuff. Same cast, let me see what else.
Any special people in there? Any special
They're
guests?
all special people. And they come join us on Clerks 3. But no, like, and we got Bruce Willis. No, none of that stuff. It's going to be very German.
I know that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I heard that interview.
That would be amazing, though, if I could pull that one off. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, a cameo by Bruce Willis. All is forgiven. It'll never happen.
I know that you were in the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
cartoon.
Yeah. What do you think about the new one with Michael Bay?
Mutant Turtles are from Earth. We all know that. As long as those turtles are from Earth, I'm happy. But the earliest rumor I heard was, these turtles are from space. And I was like, that ain't the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. They have to get mutated by the ooze that comes out of the container that falls out of the truck. Well, I mean, it depends which way. The origin in the comics is tied into the origin of Daredevil. Same radioactive isotope that blinds Matt Murdock and makes him Daredevil falls down into the sewers and creates the turtles, even though they're not Marvel comics. Like, that was kind of always the wonderful aspect of that black and white comic. You're like, these cats, this Eastman and Laird cats, they love the same comics we do. They're referencing Daredevil, and the Foot Clan is the Hand, and Stick is Splinter, and blah, blah, blah. So, if I know they can't do, the Daredevil tie-in origin and whatnot, but it's still got to be turtles in the sewer, radiated, becoming mutated. They can't be turtles from space. The agent that makes them mutants can't come from outer space. Like, it's not some blob type thing. And then again, you know what? I'm sitting here going, it can't be this, it can't be that. I have nothing to do with it. They can do whatever they want. For me, for turtles, it should be close to the Eastman, as close to Eastman and Laird as possible. The source origin, not even the cartoon, not even the other movies, but the black and white comic that kicked it all off. As long as they're honing close to that, I'm happy camper.
Are you a fan of Michael Bay? Like, have you seen anything that you really?
Absolutely. I'm not one of those cats that's like, Michael Bay's the devil. He's got his own style. He cuts heavy. He's known to be a screamer on set and whatnot. That's not my way, but it doesn't mean it's the wrong way. And obviously, the dude gets good results. For as much as people would bag on him about Armageddon, I think that's an utterly watchable movie, even though it has 60,000 cuts in the first 2 minutes alone. Just bang, 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 bang. He won't commit to a shot. He likes to keep it moving. So I don't know. I've liked the stuff he's done. The Transformers movies weren't for me because I couldn't understand. I mean, I sound like an old man, but I was like, which one's a good guy, which one's a bad guy? They all look the same to me. There's no real differentiation between Optimus Prime and Megatron or something like that. But he's very good at what he does. You can't take that away from him. And he's not directing this Turtles movie. He's just producing it, same way he produced the remakes and stuff. So I'm sure that guy looks at the script and looks at some paperwork. He's like, great, go ahead. Looks at some cuts. He's like, oh, great. I don't think he's there every day going, let's destroy everything people love about the Turtles. He's not Hitler. Yet.
Yeah, not yet. Jay and Silent Bob, a super groovy cartoon movie. Mm-hmm. Now, is this a concept that you're going to run with and maybe do more of, or just a one-time?
If this works, and so far it's working. And when I say work, this is what you need. This all has to work. Budget is low, just like Clerks was low. Clerks $27,575. The budget in the cartoon movie $69,000. With the first day we went on sale with the tickets, we were in profit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't have to spend all that money on marketing. Like, hey, I saw a commercial on MTV and stuff. It's a series of single performances. They happen once at night. You know, there's the movie, and then you do the podcast afterwards, live show. So it's about a 3-hour affair. And then you move on. So the ticket sales are so strong that we started talking about immediately. Once tickets went on sale and we saw the numbers we got, we were like, we could do this every other year, man. Because it's just him and me sitting down, recording voices, getting some of our friends, and then having our animating friends go to town. And it's a joyous world, man, when you have a cartoon that's all your own. Like, I used to wait around, hope The Simpsons would call. You know, like Seth Rogen wrote an episode for The Simpsons, and then people I know have done voices and stuff. And I met Matt Groening once in an airport at the LAX. Was it LAX? Yeah, it was LAX. He was heading someplace, I was heading someplace else, and we had met at San Diego Comic-Con very briefly. Matt Groening is the creator of The Simpsons. So, you know, we're just chit-chatting. He's like, my son's a big fan of yours. I'm like, I'm a huge fan of yours, dude. The Simpsons, Life in Hell. Like, you've changed my life. You made me smarter, blah, blah, blah. And he said something I thought was like, oh. It was kind of good to hear, but sad to hear as well. But he was just like, oh, I love you to death, man. I'm always trying to get you on the show, but there are people at The Simpsons that just don't like you. And I was just like, oh, thanks, Mr. Groening.
That's a letdown.
Oh, it really was. And I didn't want to say anything like, dude, why'd you tell me that? I didn't need to know that, Groening. But it was a weird piece of information to share. So, you know, as much as I love that show and worship at the altar of The Simpsons, apparently I'm never getting near it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we like you as an audience member, and that's it. But my whole shtick in life has been like, don't wait for somebody else to give it to you. Just fucking do it. So what are we sitting around for, waiting for The Simpsons to ever go like, oh, okay, we'll let Kevin Smith do something now. Go make our own fucking cartoon, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we did with Jay and Silent Bob. It was like, it's fun. I watch it, and I'm like, this is like an R-rated, dirty version of The Simpsons, a really bad Simpsons episode. But that's close enough for me. And it's like, yeah, you could play in the playground with Homer and Lisa and Marge and stuff like that. Well, we got our own playground. I'm sitting there going like, boy, I hope The Simpsons call. Meanwhile, I've got all my characters behind me going like, poking me. Hey, we'll be in a cartoon. So it's, you know, it took a little while, but now we're at that place. And animation and then Flash animation is so inexpensive. Like, again, $69,000 for a feature. So at that point, you feel like the sky's the limit, man. Me and Muse are already talking about. Like, there's some shit you'll see people online, Twitter particularly, suggest things that we've always talked about for years, like Jay and Silent Bob should meet Cheech and Chong. Jay and Silent Bob should meet Bill and Ted. Now, you're never going to have that happen in real life without, like, money and pulling schedules together. But if you're a cartoon, you know, you're just asking somebody for their voice. You can go over to their house and record their voice, and boom, you're off and running. So if there's another one, expect Jay and Bob to run into their ancestors, if you will. Bob and Doug McKenzie, Bill and Ted, Jake and Elwood, Cheech and Chong, Harold and Kumar were afterwards. So those guys.
Now you go on tour with that in April, and then you're coming here in June. Now, is this going to be like a Q&A and showing the movie?
Same thing. So we'll show the movie, just like Red State. We show the flick, and then afterwards we get up and do a Q&A about it. The Red State thing was just Q&A about the movie. After a Groovy movie, then we'll start the Jay and Silent Bob Get Old podcast, and that's predominantly going to be devoted to the flick we just watched, but we'll also do all the other elements of the Jay and Bob Get Old live show, which is like he gets up there. That podcast is all about keeping Muse clean, because he used to have problems with the heroin and the Oxycontin. So he gets up there every week, and that's his, you know, his sober device. That's what keeps him off the shit, because he's accountable now. Because we go, how long have you been clean and sober? And he's got to give us a number and stuff. So helps him live clean. I was going to say more honestly. I don't know if it's honest, but it helps him live clean and stuff like that. So the notion of like that dude kind of sobering up to make the flick, like that's where it came from. He was trying to stay sober. He's like, dude, I'm bored. Like, and bored is where I relapse. So he's going, I need another job in movies, another role that's not just acting. I can't wait for a phone to ring for somebody to cast me or something like that. I said, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to produce. I was like, you know what a producer does? He's like, no. I was like, you are a producer then, because I don't know what they do either. So I said, well, you need a script, man. That's all every producer needs. I gave him my script to the graphic novel, to the comic book I'd done, Blunt Man and Chronic and stuff. And he went off with him and Steve Stark, and they came back like 2 months later with 10 minutes of animation that made me laugh out loud. I was like, you guys are crazy. This is legitimate. Like, this is viable. So we could take this out like we took it out Red State, man. So with the Jay and Silent Bob Super Groovy Cartoon Movie Tour, come out, chit-chat for a little bit, start with a short subject animation, then go into the feature, kind of like Pixar does it, but, you know, not nearly as expensive or good. And then afterwards, we let them smoke, take a leak for 10 minutes. Then we come back in and we do Jay and Silent Bob Get Old. Half of it will probably be about the movie. We'll do it as a Q&A rather than just like Q&A specifically about the movie. Then the other half of the show will be what it is normally with him talking about being sober and shit.
I just got one more for you. How did the Silent Bob and Clerks thing all come about?
Silent Bob exists solely so that Jason Mewes had somebody to stand next to and talk to. Like, I wanted to put Jason in the movies. I thought it was really funny. I wanted to write a character that was like who he was in real life. But if you just have that dude stand there by himself not talking to somebody, it'd be weird. And he couldn't give him somebody else because there's no point in having dialogue. He's like a living monologue himself. So I was like, well, he needs somebody to talk to, but the person can't say anything. So, all right, we'll make him his muscle. If this dude's a drug dealer, dope dealer, whatever the fuck, this guy next to him will be his muscle. It was written for a friend of mine named Mike Bellicose, who I went to school with and had been in plays with and done sketches with. Mike's a funny dude and stuff, but remembering dialogue and stuff wasn't his forte. So I tried to write him something where he could look, physically kind of intimidating because he was a bigger dude. And he had great facial expressions, but he wouldn't have to act, so to speak. And I was going to play Randall, which is why Randall has all the best jokes. So then, as we got closer to production, I was like, I can't do Randall. I can't play this character and direct and work at the store and all these things. So I was just like, well, maybe I got to find somebody else to do Randall, and that's where Jeff Anderson came from. So I was like, if this is the only movie I want to make, I at least want to be in the movie. So I talked to Bellicose and said, hey man, I want you to be in this movie I'm making, and you play Silent Bob. And he's like, okay. And then I realized, ooh, I could play Silent Bob, man, because I hang out with Jay anyway. So I said, all right, dude, I'm going to play Silent Bob, and you mind? And he's like, no, I don't care. And he wound up being the guy in the movie. Dante goes, 37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. And he goes, in a row? That's the dude who would have been Silent Bob. So my sister maintains that he's in the movies, Silent Bob's in the movies, because he was a reflection of my father, who was very much the same way. Didn't really talk that much. But when he did, it was either very funny or very insightful. I didn't see that until later myself. Really, he was just a device so that Jason didn't stand there by himself.
If you could work with somebody like you haven't worked with, who would it be?
I've always loved Bill Murray, but everyone says that, like, oh, he's got a, walks to the beat of his own drum, so to speak. They find nice ways to say, like, I don't know if he would like working with Bill Murray, dude. But I love him so much. His work is great and stuff, and it inspired me.
See, I like Bill Murray, but then he's turning down Ghostbusters 3, So.
But he's been, to be fair, he's been turning down Ghostbusters 3 for damn near 20
years
or more at this point.
And they've been talking about that for a long time.
He's consistent, and he's always been up front. He's like, look, there's a way to do this movie where you kill me in the first few minutes, and I'm a ghost the rest of the time. And I guess people aren't into the notion or whatever. Yeah. I would do whatever he said. If I was Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Columbia, whoever's in charge over there, I'd be like, just whatever he wants, just do it. Because A, he's not going to let it suck. B, he's a comedy genius. And C, we're going to get another Ghostbusters out of this. So just do it. But nobody's, I don't know. And then you hear reports where it's like, Bill Murray's in. And then it's like, that is absolute horseshit. So I don't even know if the story about him being like, if I get killed in the first few minutes, I'll be in it, is true. You know what I'm saying? Who knows anymore?
Well, I want to thank you for your time.
That was a good interview. I'm glad that I actually stood around for 3 hours waiting for Kevin Smith to come out to actually talk to him.
Well, I follow a lot of blogs and a lot of podcasts and stuff from San Diego, and live feeds. And one of the live feeds that I followed was Alicia Malone of AMC Movie Talk, Fandango. All these Access Hollywood. She had a long talk with Kevin Smith about Tusk and his process. I think he's changed a little. He's changed his tune about movies. I think he's now thinking that he's going to make movies for him and that the things that he wants to do. He's not going to go and start making movies for me and you and every other jabroni out there. From now on, he's going to make what he wants to make. If we like it, we like it. If we don't, we don't.
Now, where's this interview? You can find this interview at?
You can go on Alicia Malone's YouTube page, and she's got all kinds of interviews from all the different TV shows, movies coming up in the next year or so on her YouTube page. And then one of the things she does is it's called Malone's Movie Minute. And she's from Australia, so she might sound a little weird.
Well, right here, if you can see it right here at the bottom of the screen, I posted the link for everybody, Marsha's link. And if you want to go there and see, here it is right here. This is the link to the Kevin Smith interview. So check it out. Tell me what you think. Go to bestdaymovieshow.com and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like me putting all this information on one show so you guys can just click, listen, and relax.